Howdy, folks. Greyhawk4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. It's Thursday. I hope everybody out there is doing well. Got the beard somewhat under control today. It's becoming more and more of a hassle. So, wanted to see how long I could get it before spring, but the time's drawing near where this is going to have to get trimmed down. So, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Wait to get some more people in here. But we have, there's been some recent developments in the gaming world that I want to talk about. And let's see here. Here we go. Yeah, there's the page I want right there. Okay. So when we get, hello, Chupa. How are you? I also have the results of our predictions here. So once we get a few more of our regulars in here, if anybody shows up, no one got it. No one got it directly, the exact score. But for the Super Bowl, everybody else but me. I'm the only one. Hey, Bastille, I'm the only one that thought Cincinnati was going to win. Even though I was rooting for the Rams, I made my prediction that Cincinnati was going to win. I was the only one. Everybody else picked the Rams, and everybody else was right. But no one got the exact score. So there's a couple people that were close, but and my score was not that far. If Cincinnati had scored one more touchdown, they would have had that would have gave them the 24. I take that back. Yeah, there's no way I could have got mine. Mine was 27-24. So yeah, they screwed me up. So, but Sean O'Connor was the closest. He had it Rams 21, Cincinnati 20, and it ended up being 23. He was only off by 2 points. So it was actually 23-20, but he was the closest. So I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything big going on other than the people watching the Olympics. Everything else is reruns. So Patrick Barnes. Greetings, Patrick. I don't know if you're new here, but yes, this is a gaming basement. I am Greyhawk4x4. My name's AJ, but I go by Greyhawk4x4 on here and on my channel. And this is what I like to call my gaming tavern. Bastille says, "What is that symbol on your hat?" This is an Arizona Diamondbacks logo. And the reason that I have this hat is because when I was in Texas, I used to coach Little League Baseball. And our team was all the teams they were based on actual team, Major League Baseball teams. And ours was the Diamondbacks. So as a coach, we all had hats. So thank you, Patrick. Yeah, and actually, it's actually a little messy right now because I'm actually doing a project where I'm working on my collection and stuff. Because normally there wouldn't be this much crap on the table. Actually, these other guys can tell you it actually looks better than it did a while back because this was all full of file boxes and shit like that. So it actually is looking a lot better. If you're interested, Patrick, you can go back on my channel and I have a few videos where I do a full tour because there's some stuff on here you can't see. It's off camera right now, but you can go back and see that stuff on the channel. Bastille and Patrick must know each other. I'm noticing that on some of the other channels, was it DM James and some of the other ones that I'm seeing some of the same people. So there must be the community here must be, fairly tight knit because I'm seeing some of the same people on some of those other channels too. So, but I had some stuff. Let's see here. Just came over here from The Right Way to Have a Really Long Username, James Steams. The Right Way to Have a Really Long Username. I haven't heard of that one. Oh, they were both just watching DM James. Gotcha. So yeah, and the other one is slipping my mind right now. He jumps in here every once in a while. He does all the EverQuest stuff. And he was in here not too long ago. So let's see here. Let's see if I can find it real quick here, because there's one other one that and I know the minute I see it. But of course, I have like 200 people I'm subscribed to. I never go through it. I never go and clear out my stuff. I always figure I give people the benefit of the doubt. If I subscribe to them, unless they do something to really be bad, then I just stay subscribed. I know a lot of people go through and like clean out their stuff and everything, but not me. Yeah, I know the guy's name is for whatever reason I can't recall it right now. Damn it. Anyway, but of course there's stuff like Nerdrotic and Heel versus Babyface and those other ones that we all kind of go to. I wanted to go over the PC gaming news stuff that hit today, like the No Man's Sky apparently had a huge update, and of course it was free again. They've been, ever since they had their bad launch years ago, they've been trying to improve that game, and they have been doing so. People are raving about it again, and this was another big update. This one was a combat update, I guess, and it's being very well received. So there's Nathan Napalm. Nathan Napalm is the other guy that I see other people from my page on. And because he's, hey, Sean, I was just talking about you, Sean. Believe it or not, you were the closest on the prediction for the Super Bowl score. You predicted the Rams would win 21-20, and you were off only by 2 points. They won 23-20. So you were the closest out of everybody on my channel. That all of us that did the predictions, you were the closest. Everybody else picked the Rams but me. I thought Cincinnati would win, even though I was rooting for the Rams. I thought Cincinnati would win. Turns out I was the only dumb shit in the whole group. The rest of you guys all knew the Rams were going to win. Now, the only thing I can say in my defense is that when I made that prediction, the initial one, last Thursday, a week ago today, I had forgotten that it was their home stadium. Had I remembered that when I made that, I probably would have went with the Rams too. But I stuck by it because Sunday before the game started, I did another live, and I didn't change my prediction because I stuck with what I said. But yeah, had I remembered, if I hadn't been such a dummy, I would have probably picked the Rams also. But yeah, you were the closest, Sean. So cheers to you. In your honor, I shall consume a adult beverage. Gotta have a cold one whenever I do a live. Just seems like the right thing to do. So anyway, I was just talking about that No Man's Sky update. Are any of you playing No Man's Sky? I played it at launch, and I got into it quite a bit, and then right on, man, dude's just as good. So I played No Man's Sky at launch, but it was pretty barren, and it was pretty sparse on what you could do and everything. I wasn't having a bad experience with it. It was just there was a void there, and I haven't gone back since they've done all these massive updates because I'm afraid that that's going to be a rabbit hole that if I do jump into it, I'm going to go way deep. and I'm going to be playing that game for hours upon end. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I want to be prepared before I decide to jump into something like that to make the full commitment, you know. But are any of you guys playing No Man's Sky, or have you? Hey, Colin. Um, because I heard this was a pretty good update they just had. And then another thing that hit today, I didn't realize they are making a Dead Island 2. And it says it may actually be out early 2023. I wasn't aware they were making a Dead Island 2. The original Dead Island. Have any of you guys played that? Because I played the shit out of the first Dead Island. I beat it twice, I think. And I remember when I did my review on that, which I believe is still on the channel from like 7-8 years ago or whatever. The one thing that I kept saying over and over again in that particular game was killing zombies in that game never got old. No matter how many times I did it, there was something the way that they had it coded with the behavior of the AI to where no matter how many times you did it, the hordes of zombies coming at you would viscerally piss you off in the game to where you just like die, you know, you just no matter how many times you did it, you never got tired of killing the fucking zombies in Dead Island. That was one of the things that I took away from the game that I'll never forget is that, you know, it was like wave after wave. I'm ready for you, you bastards. Let's go. You know, baseball bat to the head, you know, and it's like that was the thing that grabbed me about and then they ended up, you know, there was some crafting in it where you could make mods for your weapons and stuff like that. So if they're making a Dead Island 2, I'm all in. So yeah, so Sean, if you never played it, I'm betting on Steam you could probably get it for probably $5 now. And man, you'll get more than $5 worth of fun out of it, I'll tell you. Do I have my Steam running here? I'll go to the store real quick and see if I can find it. All right, Dead Island, the definitive collection. It's not on sale right now, so you'd want to wait for a sale. It's $20, but on sale, I've seen it as low as $5. So, yeah, and the definitive one probably has all of the DLC with it, I'm guessing. So, anyway, yeah, it was a blast. So, Colin says the first time I completed it, I started again right away. I did the same thing, and I played. If I remember correctly, was there 4 different characters you could play? Colin, because I remember there being 4 different people. There was like 2 females and 2 males, and I did it on one, and then I finished it, and then I started another one right away. And I might have the second one might have done played a female because each one had a specialty. Like the one I played, I can't remember if he was melee weapon, and then I started up a ranged weapon person after that. Let's see here. I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing anything here. Colin says they gave us all remastered versions of Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide for free. Yep, 4 characters. I was right on that. You don't need a whole lot of specs for that, because that's an older game. Let's see. I'll read them off to you right now. The recommended is they're recommending Windows 7 or Windows 8, either one, 64-bit. Of course, Windows 10 also. And then they're saying an i5 at 3.4 gigahertz is the recommended, or an AMD FX 8350. Recommended is 8 gigs of RAM. The recommended graphics is a GTX 780 or a Radeon R9 290, DirectX version 11, and 10 gigabytes of space available. That is your specs right there. Um, yeah, you won't be disappointed. Yeah, it's a blast, dude. So, um, so anyway, they're working on the sequel to it, Dead Island 2, and it's supposed to be coming out early next year, so like a year from now. I would be down for that. So that was another awesome thing that came out today. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, here's another biggie for me anyway. Let's see if it how it resonates with you guys. Um, if Mistra was in here, I know she would be excited about. Well, I don't know. She might not react the way I think she would. Amazon has signed a deal, and they're announcing it today. I don't know when they signed it. To produce 2 TV shows based on video games. One is the Life is Strange franchise, and the other one is one of my favorite games of all time. It's, in my opinion, it's the best game that's been made in the last probably 10 years. Disco Elysium. They're making a TV show. Amazon is going to do a show based on Disco Elysium. Now, having said that, I'm kind of mixed on the idea of I'm excited for the fact that Disco Elysium is receiving all these accolades and recognition for the masterpiece that it is, and that they want to expand upon the universe by making a TV show and everything. Now, as with anything else, if they fuck it up, it will devastate the franchise. I think if it's not done right, because that game is you have to, when you're playing that game, you find out very quickly that you have to be in the right mindset to play that game. If you're not in the right mindset, you'll be going, the hell kind of game is this? This is weird. You know, you got to be a little weird to want to play that game. And then it's one of the best games ever made. Didn't Amazon get slammed for their mishandling of their MOBA game? I don't know if I don't know which MOBA game that would have been, but they got slammed for, I believe you're right. That was like their first game that they put out, but New World took a nosedive, and now Lost Ark, they published Lost Ark, and that is getting bad reviews. So, yeah, now that's on their game side. This is their TV side. They're making TV shows. So, Colin says Disco Elysium would be great if it was anime with a similar style to the game. You're a genius. That is absolutely correct. If they do it live action, so Colin, tell me if you agree with me. If they do it live action, Disco Elysium, it'll be very easy for them to fuck it up. It'll be very easy because it's such a weird, abstract type of a concept for a game that you could turn into a TV show. But anime with a similar style to the game would make more sense. Let's see here, Hellsent. Hellsent says when they're going to stop reskinning so many icons. That's a good point. That's basically what's happening. Patrick Barnes says, I just remember something with them bungling microtransactions, sort of denying that they were doing loot boxes while leaving themselves open to doing loot boxes or something like that. Some double talk. Well, that's corporate America for you there. That's you could say literally that about any big corporate game company that there is, because they all do that shit. Our last holdout was CD Projekt Red, and I don't think they're going down that. I don't know that they'll ever go down that that alley of the loot boxes and all that shit. But CD Projekt Red was the last one that we quote trusted for a big company, AAA title, and then they bungled the Cyberpunk 2077 release, and it was all buggy, and they had a PR nightmare there. So Halo TV show news. I have not heard anything about that. Um, let's see what else here. It says Bungie is finally clamping down on AFK farming in Destiny 2's Thrallway. Yeah, I don't see anything about Halo TV show. I know that there's a whole shit ton of them that they're talking about. BioShock. I know they're doing a BioShock. Somebody's doing a BioShock TV show. Which, if that's done right, that could be good. BioShock is a TV show. That could be good. Uh, but let's see. So that's the big ones. And then, of course, the other elephant in the room is the Nintendo announcement. Did any of you guys, or some of you at least, get? Yeah, we're going to get into the Lord of the Rings thing. The Nintendo announcement that they are, I forget the date they put out, but they're going to end the e-store for the Wii U and the DS. At a certain date, they're no longer going to have an e-store for either one of those platforms. Meaning that if you don't buy the games and get them in your library now, at a certain date, I don't remember what the date was. I'm sure I can find it here. That you will not be able to get them anymore. Now they're saying you'll still be able to download previously purchased games, but let's just do a Google search here for Nintendo. But where I don't remember who it was PC Gamer who I read it on, was saying that, there's nothing saying that they could not just at some point decide you won't even be able to access anything you've purchased. That's not saying they would do that, but let's see here. Where was that? Right here. It's on Polygon. It says rescue your old 3DS Pokemon before the Nintendo eShop shuts down. Okay, so it looks like you have, yeah, they're talking about, it looks like a year from now, March of 2023, the eShop will shut down. So, but even though it's a year off, people were still saying that, what's the point? Why would you even bother? Why would you shut it down? Why not just leave it up? What is it hurting to have it up? So there was a lot of people upset about that. It doesn't affect me, but Colin says they're doing Lord of the Rings. So far, it's been low key in controversy. Well, in some circles, it's been high in controversy, Colin, because they're adding characters that Tolkien never had in any of his works. They're adding characters, and they're also changing some of the canon for this series. Apparently, they have Galadriel um, in combat scenes in the show, and Tolkien never had her as a anybody that partook in combat. Now, so they're taking artistic license. Now, will it stop it from being good, like being entertaining on the screen? Who knows? But the hardcore people that are like the purist, the ones that want to go only by canon, they're all up in arms about the fact that they're changing shit and they're adding characters that Tolkien never wrote. So yeah, so there are some controversies with, excuse me, with the faithful. I'm not necessarily 100% purist, but I think that given the depth that he provided us as a world of Middle Earth and everything that he wrote, if you took into account the Silmarillion and then all of the other stories that his son ended up publishing after Tolkien died, that his son published and everything, unfinished tales and stuff like that. There's more than enough to go by without adding characters or changing stuff. But they decided to do that. So yeah, so I'm assuming some of you guys probably follow Yang Yi, uh, the big YouTuber that covers like gaming news and stuff like that. If you go to Yang Yi's page, you'll see that, or his channel, he did a big thing about this Nintendo story yesterday. That because I guess he's a big Nintendo player. Um, so like, I mean, everybody has a year before they shut it down, but apparently it's really pissing some people off. So if you want to know more about it, you may want to check out his channel because he goes into a lot more detail about it. Let's see. Let me make sure there's nothing that I missed here. Let me make sure there was no other announcements that I missed here. Apparently, the Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO, the Legacy of the Sith expansion, has not been apparently is not being well received. It says the brief story, new UI bugs and class changes have riled up a lot of players. I haven't played that game in a long time, so um, but most MMOs, the minute that you every time there's a expansion or whatever, it's bound to piss off some people. So that doesn't sound like it's that far out of the realm of possibility. So um so how many people have I got in here right now? I only got 5 people. It says I got 5 people in here. I might have more, but you never know. Um how many of y'all are Ravenlaw fans? Because I got a little story to tell you about something here that so as I'm going through my collection here, I had this happen to me today and I found it kind of comical. Um Actually we only got 4 people in here now. So um any Ravenlaw fans out there? Of the 4 of you that are here? Hey, Mike is here. Didn't even know you were here, Mike. Hey, I can't remember, Mike. Did you on the past lives? Did you either one of the last two? Did you do a prediction on the Super Bowl? Because I couldn't. I went back through all the logs, chat logs, and I found everybody's that could, but I didn't see one for you, Mike. I can't remember if you did one or not, but Sean was the closest. He was only 2 points off of the actual what the final score was, but I couldn't remember if you were one of the people that you did not. Okay, just want to make sure I didn't miss you there if you were. So, um, anyway, so yeah, I was going through my collection as I've been telling you guys. I've been cataloging all my stuff, and then I've been bagging and boarding it too. And uh, so right now I'm doing all my Ravenloft stuff. Right now, I bought probably 8 or 9 years ago. I bought a big collection. It was a guy who sold his entire D&D collection to a local game store, and I just happened to walk into the local game store like the same day. It was just a stroke of luck. And I walked in and I was like, and I know the owner, and I was saying, hey, how's it going and all that. And he knows I always look for out of print stuff. And he goes, yeah, he goes over there. He goes, all those boxes over there. He goes, that's a collection I just bought. So I go over and start looking through it and everything. And he hadn't even sorted it. He hadn't sorted it or to like price it or put it on shelves, nothing. It was still all in the boxes and everything. And I go, well, how much do you want for the whole collection or whatever? And he goes, well, I was thinking about, like $300 or something like that. And I managed to talk him down to 250. I said, I'll give you 250 cash right now. For everything, for the whole thing. And I hadn't even gone through it all. But I knew just from what I could see, there was at least that much worth in value, in the boxes and everything. And so he's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. He goes, I didn't want to sort through it and have to price it all and piece it out. Because he was like, I may have to sell some of it on eBay. And he goes, oh, yeah, if you got 250 cash on you. And so luckily I had it somehow. I don't even remember why, but I had cash on me. And so I buy this collection, right? And I load it up and everything. And I've had it stacks of this stuff, somewhat sorted before, but I'm actually really going through it now as I'm bagging and boarding everything. And so I get to this one today, this Islands of Terror. And it was weird because there was like all these maps right here that were stuffed inside of it, right? And I'm like, okay, normally they don't do that many maps in a just a folded publication like this. If they're going to do that, they'll do a box set usually. So I thought, well, that's kind of weird. So I started looking through them, and I'm like, well, these don't even all go to this, I don't think. So I started opening them up and looking at them, and sure enough, so the one that goes to it, I put back in here. There's one map that goes to this right there, for the Islands of Terror. The other three, um, I had no way. I would have never known this if I hadn't literally gone through this. He had. This is a Dark Sun map for the Dark Sun campaign. This is called the Golden Tower. I've yet to be able to figure out where that goes, like what this map actually goes to. It's called the Golden Tower, but I can't find like what module or box set it goes to. No idea. I will figure it out at some point. But there's that. Then there's this Graven Island thing that's also Ravenloft, and I found out that goes to the Ship of Horror module. So I have the map, but I don't have the module was not in the collection. So I just have the map now. So there's that. And then there's a random Forgotten Realms map. And all three of those were stuffed into this, just loose. So I have two maps, the Ship of Horror one and the Dark Tower, or the Golden Tower one, that I don't have the actual source material that they go to. And then the Forgotten Realms one was just an extra Forgotten Realms map, but I don't know. It's not within me to have my stuff like that disorganized, to where I have maps from other things in other things, and so. But luckily, I figured it out. I just got to somehow, I guess, find the source material and buy it on eBay or something and buy it for these other two maps. So that's the kind of shit you run into when you buy collections. You just don't know. Sometimes you don't know what. Sometimes it works in your favor. Sometimes you end up there's items that are missing. Like there was the Planescape box set was part of that collection I bought, and the original box set is in there, but it's missing the map of Sigil, which is the city, the main city in Planescape in the game world. So it's missing the Sigil map. So when I saw this and I knew I had these loose ones, I'm like, well, shit, hopefully one of these is the missing Sigil map. That would be awesome. I've been looking for that damn thing. It's not. See, now that would have made sense if the Sigil map would have been in here, because I have the source material for that, and it's missing the map. So that would have made sense. But I wasn't so lucky. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff when you're we can look him up. Let's see here. Is there a little number on the edge of the maps? Yeah, that's my next. Thing is to do that. I'm gonna go by that number, the item number on there, and figure it out. I just know that it's the one. Somebody sold one of these, just the map by itself. Somebody sold one on Amazon because it's listed on Amazon. It says not available, and it even has a picture of it, so I know it's the same map. So I'll figure it out. I'll get to the bottom of it. But just one of those fun things about being a collector. It's kind of like, finding hidden gold and stuff like that. So did anybody else? We were talking about last time. Did anybody go back and watch season 4 yet of Disenchantment? I'm finished with it, but some of you guys were not even aware that it was out. So I don't know if any of you guys went back and says how many pieces in the collection from the game. So well, this is like 8 or 9 years ago, and it's all integrated basically into my collection now. And I'm just going through and bagging and boarding everything. But there was a lot of shit. There was a lot of stuff. Like I did all the Spelljammer stuff today, I got all that bagged and boarded, and basically, it was almost everything that they made for Spelljammer. That was just part of it. So, um, the right way to role play with DM James. What's up, Glib Globs? How's the Dolmenwood campaign going? I don't know if you watched the last video, James, but my character bit the farm, got ate by a dragon. So if you didn't see that video, you may want to go back and watch my last Dolmenwood update video. So Einz Goldbach is no longer. He was consumed. Um, but the party, basically, Einz, my character, I had him dive underneath the dragon and try to get through the soft underbelly because we couldn't get through his hide unless we rolled like a 19. So I dove under to basically try and stab him from underneath. Hopefully that would be less armor, less armor under there. And uh, by doing that, the DM said that he focused all of his attacks solely on my character. And he had an acid breath weapon. He had a stomp attack, and he had a bite. And so, yeah, it didn't take long for him to do me in. But my character Einz was able to tank it enough for the rest of the party, which is basically the other fighter who ended up killing it by the skin of their teeth. I mean, I was dead. The two other characters were unconscious. The cleric was dragging bodies off the battlefield, trying to get them to where he could heal them. And the last fighter took him out, but it was hairy. So I'm on my second character named Zwei, Zwei Wagner, because I said at the beginning of this, because I knew how deadly it was going to be, and Jonathan, who I don't think is in here right now, Jonathan, he DMs pretty deadly. His campaigns in the past have been pretty damn deadly. We had one we were TPK'd in, and another one before that, I think, where my monk got killed, and I had to roll up another character. So I did this one where my first one was named Einz, and the second one is Zwei, which is 1 and 2 in German. And if this one gets killed, my next one's going to be Drei, which is 3 in German, and I'm just going to go right up the numerical alphabet there on all my character names. So anyway, but we're having fun. I love the Dolmenwood. It's pretty cool. It's complete. It's something different that I'd never played through before. So having a good time. Yeah, we were talking before about the fact that a lot of the same names, you see the same names in here that you'll see in your on your channel with the lives, James, and then Nathan Napalm. Kind of see him on all these different ones. So there's Brandon, Looney Tunes fan. My next premiere is Scrap Happy Daffy. Cool. Yeah, I was checking out your channel there, Brandon. Yeah, you're a dedicated Looney Tunes fan. I'll give you that, man. Sean says you'll never run out of characters. Yeah, well, you're right. And luckily, I can count in German as high as I need to. I didn't learn a whole lot of German when I was in Germany in the army, but I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and all that shit. Yeah. But yeah, so I'll never run out of characters. You're right. So is anybody else following the Olympics? I am not. But if there's any Olympic fans in here, my wife is a junkie, so she's up there watching. She watches it till her friggin' eyes bleed. I'm not a Olympics fan, but if Colin is still is still here, I don't know if they've got anybody. If Scotland even has anybody in the Winter Olympics, they might. I don't know. Sharaton. Hey, buddy. Hope you're having a good night. Yeah, right back at you, man. Cheers. Charoten. Oh, that's right, Colin. You're not a sports fan, so that's right. You wouldn't even know. Charoten. I'm trying to figure out if that is in reference to something. That name seems familiar to me. I just don't know what it's from though. I could have sworn that I've seen that name somewhere before. So yeah, the Summer Olympics I'm somewhat interested in, like the swimming and stuff like that. But Colin says I'm boycotting the Olympics because of China. I don't blame you there. Yeah, they're human rights treatment shit that they're doing. Yeah, we won't get into the whole politics and all that other stuff, but yeah, I'm with you there. James says I only care about hockey, and I've never been a huge hockey fan, but I'm finding that with hockey, it's the same for me as with soccer. I will watch the shit out of women's soccer. The men's soccer, I get bored with. Women's soccer, that shit is awesome. I mean, those women go at it. Same thing with hockey. I mean, men's hockey is pretty exciting too, but women's hockey to me is they seem like they're more ready to get after it than the men are, and in soccer for damn sure. Sharon says, "Oh, I was here a few times. We talked Nintendo 8-bit for the good old days, and then we talked about Punch Out." Okay, that's where I remember your name from. Okay, or Castlevania. I don't remember. Yeah, I never played any of the. Well, no, I take that back. I did play on the original Nintendo, uh, not the Super Nintendo, the original Nintendo console. I think it was in Germany. My buddy Rich, he had a Nintendo, and we played uh, the Castlevania games. It might have been what was Castlevania 65000? Was that on Nintendo? I can't remember. Pretty sure that's where I played that at. And then and we played Legend. I remember we played a lot of Legends of Zelda. But for some reason, Mistra says I can confirm that we girls get at it on soccer. Played high school level. Yeah, Mistra. Hey, welcome, Mistra. I mentioned you earlier. And that's the way it always goes. I always mention you about something that I knew you'd be interested in, Mistra, and then you end up showing up. So we were talking earlier about the fact that Amazon made an announcement today that they're going to produce 2 TV shows, and one of them is going to be Life is Strange. They're making a Life is Strange TV show, Amazon is, and they're doing Disco Elysium. And I'm a huge Disco Elysium fan. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And I know you're Life is Strange fan, correct? So how do you, and I said what I was telling them earlier was I'm not sure how Mr. will feel about this, whether she be happy that they're making a TV show, or if she's going to be afraid they're going to fuck it up, or a little bit of both. So. Correct. Yep. Because I don't know if you played Disco Elysium, Mistra, but that's really easy for them to fuck up. In other words, it's going to be really difficult for them to get that right. Now, somebody did, and I got to remember who was it that said, was it Colin that said it? Or Sean or Bastille? Somebody said that for the Disco Elysium, it was Colin. Disco Elysium would be great if it was anime with a similar style to the game. And I think that would be the right way to go. So, let's roll dice to see if it will be good. I don't have my dice hand. My dice are over there. We could roll percentile dice. Let me get my dice. Wherever I got that. Oh, right By the way, at Bath and Body Works, they sell these. This box has a bunch of tea in it, assortment of different kinds of teas. When you're done with all the tea, it makes a great dice box because it has dividers, so you can divide your by 8-sided, 12-sided, 20-sided, 6-sided. So just so you know, the whole box with all the tea in it is $20. Just for the box, it's worth $20 probably because it's all felt and everything in here. So yeah, we'll do some percentile dice here. So let's see here. I have not seen Arcane. All right, let's see. We'll say that the life is for the. We'll be rolling for the Life is Strange series first. We'll do a 50-50. We'll say 50 or lower is it's going to be good. 50 or higher, it's going to suck. We got 28. The Life is Strange, according to the dice, is going to be good. Now we'll roll for Disco Elysium. Well, I rolled 28, so that's under 40. So I'm saying Life is Strange, according to the dice, is going to be good. Disco Elysium, this could be bad. 53. So according to this, the Disco Elysium series is going to be right there on the, right there on the medium. So, roll for Rings of Power too. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about Rings of Power earlier. So Rings of Power, we get 19. So Rings of Power, it says it's going to be really good, apparently, if we go by the dice. So Rings gets a token modifier. So yeah, so Mister, did I break that news for you? Did you not know about that announcement from Amazon? Because that'll make me very happy if I broke that news for you here on live. Because I had a feeling you might be excited and a little worried. But let's see here. God, pop-ups are just so annoying. So let's see here. So I can read a little bit. It's on PC Gamer if you want to look it up, Mister. And it's being done by DJ2 Entertainment. Previously co-produced the Sonic movie. I did not see the Sonic movie, so. So Amazon has signed a first look deal with DJ2 Entertainment. And it says DJ2 is currently in the early stages of adapting Life is Strange and PC Gamer's 2019 Game of the Year, Disco Elysium. The new deal leaves Amazon with first dibs if the projects reach completion. So it's not even a guarantee that they're going to be made yet, but I hope so. Sean says life is easy to resolve when you're a gamer. I will look it up. Makes sense though. Though because Life is Strange has continued to grow in popularity. I played the first one for a while, and I don't remember what that was back when I was still working. So it was easy for me to get pulled away from a game and then hard to get back into them. Mr. says, do Square Enix own those guys? Because pretty sure they own published rights to the series. That's a good question. I know that Disco Elysium is done by Zayam. It's an independent. They basically they were self-published. But as far as Life is Strange, I would think you would be right. I would think that Square Enix. So they'd have to, obviously they've obviously made some kind of a deal, a licensing deal with Square Enix, I'm guessing. So, especially if it's already in development through that production company. So yeah, they'd have to have some kind of rights licensing agreement or something. So, but yeah, that's we'll have to see how TV is going to be. If they can do some of these things well, I look forward to it. But Disco Elysium as a live action would be tough because it's just it's so abstract. It would make much more sense animated. Um, like Colin was saying, anime style, because the graphics style in the game meshes very, very well with an anime style. So, but we'll see how they do it. I don't even know who they would get to play Harry, the main character in Disco Elysium. The first person that comes to for me, Nick Nolte. I could see. Well, he might be getting too old to do it though. I could see Nick because Nick Nolte's crazy enough to fit the bill. He could play Harry. Um, Jeff Bridges could play Harry. I could see either one of them playing Harry Dubois. Um, says also heard good things about Legend of Vox Machina on Prime Video as a new voice by Critical Role. I think animated show. I've heard the same. I've heard it is actually very good. Sheraton says of the old arcade games, I think my favorite was Moon Patrol and Ladybug, but I really don't remember any of the titles. Moon Patrol was a good game. Galaga is probably my favorite of the old that Asteroids, and then Tempest was one of my favorites, and then Dragon's Lair, but Dragon's Lair was tough. Sean O'Connor says, can we roll for Cyberpunk 2077 Edge Runners animated TV show on Netflix? I didn't even know that was a thing. We can roll. Absolutely. So here we go. We got a 57 on that one. So that's leaning more towards it's going to be questionable. Let's see. Robotron was another good one. I played the shit out of Robotron. Nolte is awesome, but it seems like he's having trouble with his voice. I wasn't aware of that. He's always had kind of a rough, gravelly voice. So, and that would actually fit with the Harry character in Disco Elysium because Harry's a hardcore alcoholic, smoker. I mean, damn. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be somebody like I think Jeff Bridges could, because he played the dude in Lebowski. I think he could probably pull it off. Nick Nolte. I'm sure there's some other people that would probably fit the bill, but those are the first ones that come to mind. Colin says, I even built my own arcade stick to play Robotron. Wow, you played the hell out of it then. Let's roll if Amazon will buy the rights to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So you're talking, okay. All right. I didn't even know that was up. I mean, do they think are they even discussing it that they think they could improve upon what Peter Jackson did? Is that what, I mean, okay. Maybe if they wanted to do an animated version, maybe, but let's see. Well, we got 62, so that's doubtful. Let's see. Cyberpunk, that's par. So, yeah, if there's anybody else that so the the person that could have played Harry would have been absolutely perfect as Harry Dubois from Disco Elysium would have been Robert Shaw, who played Quint in my favorite movie, Jaws. He even looked like Harry Dubois. The Quint character even looked like Harry Dubois. So, but he's long past now. He's dead. So, I want to go back up and make sure I do not miss anything here. Bastille says, whenever I hear Disco Elysium, I think Blonde. What is the game about? Bastille, If I tried to explain to you what Disco Elysium is about, I would number two have to ruin it for you, um, or I would be inadequate in being able to correctly sum up what the game is about. It's a game that you have to experience for yourself, and you really need to go in cold. Um, that's all I'm gonna say. Again, in my opinion, it's a masterpiece. But um, yeah, am I the only one in here that played Disco Elysium, or is it? Well, no, I know Colin played it. He commented on it. But yeah, I don't want to say anything more than that. Um, let's see here. Rumor is it's up for sale soon. That would be hard, improving upon Peter Jackson's masterpiece. Yeah, I don't think it would be a better version of the trilogy, but it's good. It's fine. The trilogy is still there. I own each movie extended. Um, our other challenge is to explain Torment. See, yeah, and that's the game that they most compare Disco Elysium to is Torment. Um, so that's the closest comparison you can have. Um, Sean says, play any Dark Souls, Greyhawk. Never played Elysium. I have never played any of the Dark Souls games. I have heard that they're the hardest games, most difficult games to beat in history. Now, I don't know if that's just hyperbole or if that's true. And they're also third-person action games, action role-playing. And I have never played any of them. Elden Ring apparently is like a successor, a natural successor to Dark Souls, to the franchise. Um, and I don't know if I need to go and start trying to play some of the Dark Souls games first, or if when Elden Ring drops, I can just play that. So, uh, so his name was Quint Sheraton. Um, they never really said his name in the movie other than just Quint. But for having read the book Jaws, his first name was Samuel Quint, and he was the older Irish shark fisherman in Jaws. Yes, and I'm saying that the actor that played Quint could have easily played Harry from Disco Elysium because they look and have same type of personalities and so forth. Um, but we'll never know because um, uh, Mr. Shaw is dead. The one who played Quint, the actor, is gone. Mister, you haven't played Disco Elysium yet. Um, yeah, Mister, message me, DM me on Twitter sometime later because I'm gonna tell you something about it. But we'll do it off channel here. Just DM me. I'll tell you something about it. I would recommend Bloodborne and then Elden Ring. Okay. In my opinion, Bloodborne is better than Dark Souls. Okay. Um, yeah. Before, yeah, we need to talk about one thing real quick before you decide to do that because absolutely you need to play. But there's some other information that I want to share with you about it privately. So, um, let's see here. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. Looks like we're all caught up. Okay. Well, we're coming up on an hour. I'm feeling pretty good. My voice is holding up pretty good, so I can keep going. If anybody has anything they want to talk about, I can roll some more dice. Whatever. Um, if you can beat Mega Man one or two, you will beat Dark Souls. I heard that about Mega Man. I never played that, but I heard that. Yeah, I heard that that Mega Man was difficult too. But I'm assuming Mega Man is just a console game, right? Oh, it's a third 8-bit game, 3D 8-bit game, play wise. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that Mega Man, somebody somebody dressed up as Mega Man for Halloween, I think it was. Something about that. And somebody um no, it's just something mister, it's just something I want to tell you in private about that game that you'll understand when you DM me. You'll see. Um yeah, it's probably not something that, I'm sure YouTube would frown upon me, you know, putting it in a video, So I think great Gianna Sisters came pretty close. Not sure if it was console Commodore 64 or Amiga or both. Um, you talking about in difficulty? Great Gianna Sisters. Now, if we're gonna go back that far, I'm trying to think of some difficult games because Punch Out is legendary. That you couldn't beat Mike Tyson. Um, I'm trying to think now. If you want to go back to Commodore 64 and stuff like that, now I still say that Tron Deadly Discs on the Intellivision, that's going way back. Tron Deadly Disc, when you got to 1,000,000 points on the game, up until that point, um, you're basically on a battlefield and you're fighting all these competitors that come into the battlefield and you're throwing your discs to kill them. You got to hit them in the head to kill them. And then more keep coming out and more keep coming out. And your discs return to you or they bounce off the walls and then come back to you and everything. And you're constantly trying to do this. If you're managed to get to 1,000,000 points in Tron Deadly Discs, then they came out with these weird looking robots that came out um, that were super deadly. And you could only kill them if you got your disc through their eye socket, like their little thin eye socket. You had to throw their. You want to talk about difficult. Tron Dead, and there may even be. I've never looked to see if there's YouTube videos on it, but Tron Deadly Discs. Once you hit 1,000,000 and those robots came out, you didn't last very long. And then the guys with the stun sticks came out to stun, and all they do is touch you, and then you were done. That was a difficult game. Um, Ghosts and Goblins. Oh my God, you just blew my mind. I loved that game. Ghost and Goblins was a blast. So was Wizard of War. And it's spelled Wizards of War as in, and War was spelled WOR, not WAR. It was Wizard of War, and it was an arcade game, and that was hard. Um, let's see here. Every Nintendo game is hard. Um, there was also a game on Intellivision that was made by iMagic, which was a third-party producer of games, and they made excellent games for the Intellivision. And there was one called Swords and Serpents. That sumbitch was hard too. Um, uh, Two Who is the hardest game I've played. It's like avoiding attacks type of game. That's how Tron Deadly Disc was. Mister was basically avoiding attacks type of thing. Okay, so Bastille on the Battlefield games. I remember the original Battlefield. Was it 1942? Was it Battlefield 1940? Was the first one? That one was a blast. I never played any of the Star Wars ones, but did they ever come out with any that had a campaign? Or has every Battlefield game always just been multiplayer on a map, get as many kills as you can, that type of thing? Did they ever come out with ones that actually had a campaign, like a single player campaign? Or because I've only played the original Battlefield game. It's the only one I ever played. I played the shit out of that one, but we always had a thing with Ghosts and Goblins. If you could make it to the lava bridge without getting hit, you got respect. Um, I'm trying to remember if I ever made it to the lava bridge. I played it a lot, but that was so many years ago. Yeah, I'm talking about Ghosts and Goblins when it was in the arcade. Now, if they ended up releasing it on console, that's years later. But I played it in the arcade just like I did Wizard of War. Um, there's a campaign in Bad Company too. I did not know that. That's good to know. Um, yeah, they should remake Battlefield 19. Imagine now if they did it. Yeah, that is one they could. Man, that would be a lot of fun. Landing and taking off from aircraft carriers and all that stuff. Man, that would be a blast. Let's see here. See, I missed some stuff here. Black Tiger, what a hellish arcade game. I never played that one. Um, some of them had single player. Bad Company 2. I played that one for years. I still log in once in a while. Star Wars Battlefield does a campaign. Okay, I own the Star Wars Battlefield, and I think Battlefield 2. I think I have both of them on my Steam. I've never played them. The fact that they have single player campaigns, that'll make me load it up and play it. Yeah, I mean, the multiplayer stuff um, doesn't necessarily ever since Call of Duty and that whole Call of Duty culture for me kind of ruined multiplayer stuff for me because I'm an old Counter Strike guy and competitive Counter Strike back way back in the day. And when it was just like Counter Strike 5.1, I think is what it was. But yeah, the Call of Duty when that came out and the culture that came along with it kind of ruined it for me. So um, okay, so they both it sounds like Battlefield and Battlefront and Battlefront 2, Star Wars, both of them have campaigns. I'm gonna have to play those then. Shit, I didn't know that. Mistress says I need to play the Star Wars single player game, the new one that sold well. Fallen Order. That one was excellent. They're actually making a sequel to that, Mistra. So if you want to, you might want to play it before the sequel comes out, be caught up and everything. They also have a comic, one book for lore for the new character. They're fun. Yeah, I didn't. I just learned something. I'm glad I asked that question because I wasn't aware that they even did campaigns. So, because I remember old Battlefield 1942, that was just jump in and just start killing shit. So, yeah, Fallen Order was good. I do have a question for you though, Mister. How do you like the gameplay mechanics of platformers? Because there's some levels in Fallen Order that are less about combat and more about platforming. Um, you know, obstacles and parkour shit and all that. So and some of that shit's timed. Where you got to do timed jumps, those kind of mechanics and stuff like that. Because that's where I got frustrated was with the platforming parts of it. So as long as you're okay with platformers, you'll enjoy Fallen Order because the rest of it's solid. And for people that like platformers, yeah, they're gonna give it an A+. So, but if you get frustrated with platformers, yeah, that's the one challenge. So, Colin says platforming can be fun if it's done well. Exactly. To me, Portal and Portal 2 are the ultimate platforming games. You have a tool the portal gun, but you're technically, um, you're technically trying to solve these puzzles and get from one point to the other point. To me, those are that to me those are masterpieces. Portal and Portal 2 are some of the. I mean, I played those, both of them. The first one I played nonstop till I finished it. I don't remember how many hours it took me, but and the same thing with the second one. I played those some bitches nonstop. I finished them. Bastille says, I remember Dark Forces. I was working electronics boutique at the Mall of America when it came out. The game came with a metal miniature stormtrooper. When you pre-ordered it, I wish I had known about the damn pre-order then, because I would have certainly done that to get that miniature. Because Dark Forces, my mind was blown. I mean, you had Doom and Castle Wolfenstein 3D, Wolfenstein 3D, and then all of a sudden they used the same engine. Id used the same engine to make Dark Forces in the Star Wars universe. Holy shit! Yeah, that was another one. Played Dark Forces till my eyes bled. Mistress says, platforming in Tomb Raider and Uncharted I love. Then you will love, because I would say that basically the platforming portions of Fallen Order are basically Uncharted in the Star Wars universe. If that I mean, that should put it into pretty good perspective for you. Yeah, it's basically, yeah, because I played in Uncharted, the original Uncharted on my PlayStation, and I'm not that great on controls. I've been a mouse and keyboard guy for 40 years or however long, 30 years or whatever it's been, and so on a controller, not that great. And so platforming on Uncharted on the console was not my favorite thing. So, Mr. says, best Star Wars movie, Empire Strikes Back. That you are correct. That's not open for debate. Everybody agrees on that. So, yeah, no problem. Yeah, you'll love Fallen Order then, because that's the one thing that I would say some people could get frustrated with. But if you loved Uncharted and that kind of stuff, then yeah, you're in. So, yeah, I've yet to. I don't know of anybody else that I've ever heard that has ever disagreed with that Empire was the best Star Wars movie. So, I'm sure there's people out there that do disagree, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's not even open for debate. So, all right, guys. Well, the wife wants to do some TV time, so I guess I'm gonna call this quits and go up. If I can break her away from the Olympics, I'll give her an option. I'll be like, well, if you want to do TV time, I ain't watching the Olympics. So, any last minute questions before we shut her down? And we covered a lot of stuff tonight. Damn. All right. Well, I don't see any questions coming in, no comments. Colin says, how did the Super Bowl go? Well, the Rams won, and which I was glad for because the Rams who I was rooting for. And Sean O'Connor was the closest on the score. He was only off by 2 points on his prediction. So, Mr. says your beard's getting long. Yeah, not for much longer there, Mr. It's going to get cut off for spring. So, see you, Mike. Sharaton says, all right, you have a great live stream going on. Thanks so much for being here. See you another time. Yep, see you, Sharaton. Appreciate you coming in. Any tabletop games on buy listing? Board, card, or strategy? So I'm assuming you mean, are there any that I'm like looking at buying? Is that what you mean by that? Like on a wants list or a needs list or something like that? Because I'm pretty full up on all my game stuff. Yeah. I'd have to think about that a little bit. Well, yeah, there are some that are out of print that I really want, but they're hard to find and they're very expensive. The original Dark Tower is on my list that I don't have. Um, I use beard oil, Bastille. And as a matter of fact, because I don't know if you guys remembered, but um, I don't know if you ever saw me tell the story about this right there. Because I won a year's supply of beard oil by um, they said whoever had the most creative way of using their sticker on a YouTube video would get a year's supply of beard oil, and I won because I had a beer called Evolution Ale, which shows man evolving, um, and then the last version of the evolution is the guy's drinking a beer. The full-grown human is drinking a beer, and I'm holding it while I'm drinking a beer with their sticker showing, and I put the caption "Still evolving." Um, and so I won a year's supply of beer. I still have it. I'm still using it. So, but that was more than a year ago. So they sent me a shit ton of stuff. I got a bunch of that oil. So, um, when your beard goes, do you also get weaker? I hope not. I'm not gonna. It's not gonna all go away, but it's gonna get trimmed down for spring. I can't have it this long. Uh, but I was out in the snow and the storm like yesterday or 2 days ago. I was outside and the wind was blowing about 30 miles an hour, and literally, because this is long enough now where there was no cold air getting into my, like, how it'll blow and get into your neck and then go down your shirt or whatever. Nope, I was completely impervious. The beard was blocking all the wind, and I was pretty happy about it. I could feel it pushing against the beard. And I was like, yeah, that's what that's there for. It's a built-in scarf. So make sure I didn't miss any last thing here. All right, guys, I'm out. We will see you for the live on Sunday, and I will do a video, but anything between now and then, if anything. Beard breaker, yep. Um, and if anything else comes up, I'll do videos in between, and then I'll message you. I'll DM you, Mister. Catch you guys. See ya. Catch you on the flip side, I should say.